I'm going to address that last question there, and then we can, if another question comes in, we'll certainly look at that, or we can wrap up afterwards. But I mean, from the perspective of where we are and what our overall goal is, which is really what the question is, I think, and Chris always is on these calls, and really want to thank him for being, as a director, to step up to do that, because he's got such great technical background, and I don't have the same technical background that Chris has. But from an investment perspective, I'd like to talk a little bit about where we are. Like, if you think about it, what we did is we were, in partnership with the founders, we focused on zones 1 through 4, and what was initially identified, we drilled that out fairly well. And if you go back to those news releases that Chris has discussed, you're going to see a lot of intercepts. And, there's going to be intercepts that are range from a meter to several meters. You'll see intercepts that have, small percentages, and intercepts that also have larger percentages of trello in them. I think from our perspective, we don't really think that it's appropriate to be hung up on the specifics of it. The mineralization is nicely over that area. It's not necessarily in a way that, I mean, like, people will ask us, and they have asked us, what's your intention, and when do you anticipate putting out a new mineral resource estimate? And I would think that we think at this stage, we're probably fairly early, but we're fairly early within the context of this opportunity. As we've indicated, we've looked at that outreach, and the outreach right now with these 17 targets, which still need quite a bit of validation on them, but it is strongly suggestive that zones 1 through 4 is potentially just the beginning. It could be the tip of an iceberg. It may not. We're working on trying to find out just exactly what it is, but we've got, what occurred on surface led us to interesting intercepts underground in zones 1 through 4. We have now found a lot more areas that seem fairly similar in what is occurring on surface. We've just added 175% even more areas of surface that we have yet to even identify, is there something on surface yet? But you're taking one target into potentially as many as 18 targets. Don't expect them all to show positive and to be drill ready, but with 17 more opportunities to the target we have, and one of them already coming back drill ready, we feel reasonably confident that there will be great opportunities to add more than just zone or target 9 in terms of those opportunities there. And with the acquisition of the new property, which is even larger than our existing property, we think that number could be even greater. And just doing the math in your head, you're going to realize that it's not just what's in zones 1 through 4. And why would we measure that? It would take up tremendous resources from the company's perspective just to measure that, when we've got what is potentially a quite large number of more opportunities. And each one of those opportunities is going to add to, is this commercially viable? We know through the work that we've done so far that what we have is a simple mineralogy, or what we certainly are working towards being a simple mineralogy. We don't know what the mineralogy will be like to the north or farther to the south, or in some of those targets. We've seen very positive, very encouraging mineralogy within zones 4. So we believe the right thing for the company to do right now is to identify how many of those 17 are good shots on target. And then likely, when we get access to our new property, we would, with the ECC, we'll find out, are there even more shots on gold there? When those targets have been prioritized, expect a drill program, and then we would likely be in a position that it would be more reasonable for the company to say, let's begin to measure this up and to determine what the commercial opportunities are. But why would we try to focus on just one small area when we believe the opportunity for larger areas, all in the same property, is quite significant? So that is our overall objective. I would think that I don't want to speak for Chris and the geological team, but I think that as each day passes, we continue to be more and more encouraged that we're seeing positive things that are moving us towards a much bigger opportunity. In the natural resource business, I would say, it's slightly ironic in the sense that our property is called Eureka, but there's rarely a Eureka moment. in the natural resource industry, what you really have is you have a positive piece of news which adds to another positive piece of news and another one and another one and another one. And that starts with your pathfinders. It starts with your analysis on surface. It then goes into what you find when you drill down below. And we believe that that path is looking very interesting, that will have the opportunity to expand the potential of Eureka significantly over the next relatively short period of time, and that's what you're going to see us as a management team focused on. So I don't think that we have any additional questions, but before we wrap up, I would like to say on the screen there you can see the contact at eTech Resources. If you have any questions, if something comes to you later, if you would like to do something, reach out, call either myself, Chris, or certainly send us an email. I tell you for sure, guarantee you, we'll get back to you and address those questions as best we can. As I said, we continue to be more and more encouraged as the days pass with what we're uncovering at eTech, and happy to share those thoughts with you and any direct individual questions you may have.